Something that Antrack will probably find funny. Australia is cancelled, apparently because a few leftists are leaving. Australia is cancelled. Okay. Aussies rush to New Zealand visa site after federal election. Can we just talk about the meltdown that happened over this? Australia flooded the website of New Zealand's immigration department after the election, presumably looking to escape across the ditch. New Zealand has reported a huge spike in numbers of Australians considering a move across the ditch since the federal election was called. Immigration New Zealand said the number of visas to New Zealand now Sorry, I've got a dry throat because I got sawdust in it. Not sawdust, concrete dust. Immigration New Zealand said the number of visitors to the New Zealand Now site surged tenfold on Sunday as Aussies woke to the news of the coalition victory. The website received more than 8,500 visits from Australia on Sunday, and about 10 times the usual number, and about 512 of those visitors registered interest in a Kiwi visa. That's compared to just 20 people a week earlier on May 2012. So, look, 8,500 is a sizable people. 512 looking for visas? Yeah. There was more people than voted for Labor than that. Can we get rid of the rest of them while we're at it? Australian citizens don't need much to move to New Zealand. However, the statistics include anyone currently in Australia, not just citizens. It's important to note that these pure registrations are of interest in coming to New Zealand and does not necessarily translate to the number of people actually moving to New Zealand. Immigration New Zealand General Manager Greg Forsyth added. Still, since Labor lost the unlosable election and returned Scott Morrison as Prime Minister, plenty of delusional voters have considered their options. And while escape plans from Australia frequently involve our neighbour across the Tasman, the universally adored Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, she's what? She's universally adored? Really? Hey, Amtrak, what is your view on Jacinda Ardern? Because apparently she's universally adored. Who is Australia's most trusted politician? Sure. Whatever. Seems to have made New Zealand an even more attractive prospect. Which is weird because I know a lot of Kiwis that are coming over here. Jason Fry, no more leftists over here, thanks. Jason, are you in New Zealand? Because if you are, I want to know, what is your view on Jacinda Ardern? Apparently, she's universally adored. Let us know what your thoughts are too. So, people are writing on Twitter, hi Jacinda, how do I successfully move to New Zealand and become a citizen? Why are you tweeting at her? Why can't you just Google search it? Oh, right, because you're a leftist and you can't think for yourself. I wish to move to New Zealand. That have a PM I'd happily support. Well, depending if she wins the next election, she might lose too. I think I might move to New Zealand for a while. I was vote 19. No, don't move for a while. Move indefinitely would be great. Can we move to New Zealand yet? Other people, I'm seriously starting to think tonight about how difficult it would be to move to New Zealand and get a new job, which is weird because apparently I have people that I know who have moved over here because the New Zealand economy is shit. All the Aussies wishing they had Jacinda Ardern as PM. You know you don't need a visa to move to New Zealand, right? Just a helpful hint. He's probably hoping they'll move. Anyone keen to move to New Zealand? Let's move to New Zealand. Jacinda, will you take us? Google, how do I move to New Zealand? You actually got to type it in google.com, not Twitter, by the way. Time to move to New Zealand. Can someone fund me to move to New Zealand? Why can't you fund yourself? The apparent rush to immigration New Zealand is not dissimilar to the massive spike of Google searches for a move to Canada by Americans following the 2016 election and the victory of the US President Donald Trump. Whatever the reason for it, New Zealand's Immigration Minister Ian Les-Galway said he wasn't surprised by the interest from Aussies. New Zealand is a wonderful destination full of possibilities, he said. I'm not at all surprised if Australians are looking at us. That's great. We can work out some sort of trade deal where we get your conservatives and you get our leftists. That seems like fair, doesn't it? What do you guys reckon? Alright, right, so New Zealand is lost as Canada, but we all but loved all the salt over the last few. We didn't even have to poke them. That's true. Don't worry, we're getting to more salt too, don't worry. Jason Fry, no more leftists over here, thanks. Amy Schumer is still doing stand-up and movies in America, not to mention she's pregnant. Who would have thought? I know, who would have thought she would have got sex? That's just really embarrassing. Gross, the new New Zealand Prime Minister needs to be removed for her abuse of political power. Don't know what you're talking about, political power there, but yeah. Amtrak, how many women would you make to think of vaginas are vomiting when they hear that their name? There are probably a few, actually, but Amy tops the list. That's true. She's a communist hack. Oof. Jason, you don't seem to be liking your universally loved Prime Minister there, mate. What's wrong? You haven't drank the Kool-Aid? Eric says, right, Squirrel Cam, who of us people actually found Amy to be attractive unless she secretly wanted a sperm bank? Yeah, I can't believe Amy Schumer actually got the dick. That's actually interesting. Right, did you see her hanging out with that French trash Prime Minister? Yeah, we actually reported on that, Jason. We're talking about that because that was actually involving them going through and actually censoring the internet and censoring big tech companies. That's what that whole meeting was about. Yes, we need the furry as our foreign minister. You do know I'm not furry, right? I'm just saying. Joking about the furry bit. Okay, cool. No worries. So yeah, like I say, look, at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of Jacinta Ardern. I hashtag wouldn't spit in her food though. Let me... One Nation truck burns. Oh, One Nation truck, not Trump. Right, so I was going to actually do a video later in the week regarding this. So I want to do a video on political violence and the escalation of it because it's getting quite out of control, actually. Tony Abbott, I think it was. Corkscrew. I like this. Tony Abbott supporter allegedly attacked with a corkscrew. Allegedly, right? Oh, that's interesting. What, you haven't noticed the corkscrew size hole in him? And Sarah Young. Like, this is the thing, right? I just type in Sarah Young attack. And here she is. Next attack will be on your head. Sarah Young attacks Pauline Hanson over Burkistan. Like... Like, this is the girl that supposedly said all men are rapists. Now, she's since denied it, but I'm pretty sure there's video footage of her actually saying it. So, okay. I can't find that Sarah Young article. I'll quickly go through and check my Twitter feed because I think I tweeted it while we're reading out these other ones. So the One Nation campaign truck has been torched in Tasmania, obviously leading up to, we're talking about salt from the left. So One Nation truck has been torched in Tasmania according to the party leader Pauline Hanson. Last night, just hours after the federal election, local candidate Adam Lambert left the campaign truck in the Hobart car park as he brought groceries. He later filmed what he found on his return, telling supporters on social media, "You see a lot of red and blue lights going on. This is why I returned to the vehicle coming out of the shopping centre this evening. And this is after the election, when it's all said and done. The way I figure it is if you don't like us, don't vote for us," he added. What a mess, what a mess. Thanking supporters during the long, hard campaign, which resulted in a 30-hour stint on the last day, Mr. Lambert ended the 90-second clip with the ironic Happy Sundays. Now, Pauline Hanson also tweeted about the incident, saying our One Nation truck in Tasmania parked outside a shop while our candidate was buying groceries. Someone was seen torching it before fleeing. This is amazing how the left call for tolerance, but act like they're above the law when you don't agree with their ideology, she added. Tasmania Police and Fire Services have not confirmed the incident, but are investigating a vehicle fire near the Shoreline Hotel in Hoswitz, which has been treated as suspicious. It's believed it's the same incident. Alright, so look, at the end of the day, yeah, we do actually have audio and video. Maybe not.
A One Nation campaign truck has been torched in Hobart less than 24 hours after the federal election. The truck was being driven by Tasmanian Senate candidate Adam Lambert, who was buying groceries at the time. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson tweeted footage of the blaze, blaming the left, saying someone was seen torching it before fleeing. Witnesses reported hearing an explosion that sounded like a petrol bomb. Police are investigating.
So yeah, you know, no problem with the left whatsoever. No, you know, unhinged or anything like that. It's just, you know, just another, you know, person burning the truck down. So yeah. Now, obviously, apart from that, we also had, speaking of the Liberal salt mine, Tony Abbott slams vicious behaviour after corkscrew stabbing. Former Prime Minister Tony Abbott has lashed out at the low and vicious behaviour of his opponents after one of his campaign volunteers was allegedly stabbed on Friday. What do you mean he was allegedly stabbed? Pauline Hanson, One Nation volunteers were bashed by 5 people too. I heard about that actually. Yeah, something about that, but I never really saw the whole story. But yeah, what do you mean he was allegedly stabbed? Okay, does he or does he not have a corkscrew-sized hole in the side of him? Like, what? It's pretty easy to find out if someone's been stabbed, would it not? Like, yeah. Just trying to find. Yeah, I can't find that about Sarah Young. I'd have to look into it and find out exactly what was going on with that. She was on there playing the victim yesterday, but anyway. Police said a man being abused. Police say a man began abusing a group of the Walmart MP's volunteers outside of Beauregard Heights Public School on Sunday, northeast beach at about 8 p.m. The offender, okay, interesting choice of words that you've got there. Is there any reason why you're not describing him? Allegedly threatened an 18-year-old man before he thrust a corkscrew at the stomach of the 31-year-old man, causing minor injury, the New South Wales police said in a statement. He then started ripping down the banners and that had been erected before fleeing the scene. The stabbing victim was treated by the paramedics, but was not taken to hospital. A 62-year-old man has been charged with 2 counts of common assault. Mr. Abbott is fighting to hold onto his long-held seat of the face of an intense campaign by the independent campaign and former Olympian Zale Siegel, which he actually ended up losing, but anyway. He told reporters this year the federal campaign had been very ugly with a lot of low blows. Ms. Siegel said the incident was appalling and does not believe the offender was linked to her campaign. Who else was it? Across the country in Perth, a One Nation volunteer was also allegedly attacked at a polling station. Okay, so this is what you're talking about, perhaps. In the seat currently held by the country's first Muslim woman elected to the federal parliament. One Nation Senator Peter Grosskreutz, I'm getting that wrong, posted photos on social media on Saturday of a man bleeding. He said the volunteer had been targeted by the family of 5 in a random racist attack. So it kind of makes you wonder who attacked him, doesn't it? So they apparently called him a white dog. So is the WA police looking into this for racism? That's what I want to know. The man was allegedly called a white dog. Police confirmed to the AAP they attended a disturbance at a police polling booth but refused to elaborate on any injuries. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson has a bizarre confrontation with Cohen MP Anne Ellie earlier this week. Senator Hanson expressed disappointment that Dr. Ellie had talked to her journalist about private lunches the pair attended 3 years ago, and confessed that Dr. Ali questioned Senator Hanson's timings, saying that she had ample opportunity to raise the matter if she was unhappy. Senator Hanson infamously wore a burqa in Parliament as a part of a stunt calling for the ban on Islamic garment. So that happened. Both of those attacks happened. Obviously, Sarah Young has tweeted this. This is what I really want to talk about. This is more leftist arrangement. So, someone tweeted on Twitter 2 days ago now, if you work with a Liberal voter, be nice, but keep a diary of what they say. When you have evidence, go to HR and get them fired. We have not yet made it significantly unsafe to be a right-winger. Payback, Ozpol. Now, this is obviously in regards to the election, for example. Which is really, really weird, because she then tweeted the next day after that, checked my feed, and war on women continues under Morrison. 137 abusive notifications, most of them from men, of course, but a minority from gender traitors. The vile right is drunk with Trumpism bloodlust. Everyday sexism, hashtag Ozpol. So let me get this straight. This stupid woman went through and tweeted about doxing people and getting people fired from their jobs because of a political opinion they privately hold. And then when she gets backlash, the war on women continues under Morrison. 137 abusive notifications, most of them from men, of course, but minority from gender traitors. The vile right is drunk with Trumpism, bloodlust, hashtag everyday sexism, hashtag Ozpol. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? Like, you literally went through and threatened to dox someone because of their political opinion, and then when you get called out and get 137 abusive notifications, which I can imagine what it was like, you then, what, claim to be the victim? Oh my fucking god. Please make them stop. Like, are you serious, woman? Of course, this obviously led me to go through and tweet, I wonder why she's getting abusive notifications. Imagine being so far gone from civility that you're trying to get people fired because they have a different opinion. But they're a fascist. With like the face. Ozpol 2019, Ozpol, and hashtag Australia. It's up 2 likes. Which is not bad for me because I only have like 800 or so followers. So, yeah. That was a funny impression of a whiny liberal. Thank you. I do a whiny liberal pretty well, apparently. And tell them the quotas are bringing women down. Oh, God, yeah. Don't encourage it. I'm called a gender traitor all the time. I share toxic material from men's domestic violence services occasionally. Oh, yeah, yeah. I never heard of this gender traitor before. This to me is a new thing. But at the end of the day, I imagine we're going to see a lot more of this. But yeah. Oh my god, the love from the left is never ending. I know, just don't you feel the love? Don't you feel the warm embrace of diversity of opinion? Of course. It's not just that. But even, look, I wasn't even going to show this, but I'm going to show you guys this. This is a YouTuber, right? He's a leftist YouTuber. Now, please don't go and harass anybody that's been mentioned. Okay? But because it's just gonna give them ammunition to go after me, sort of thing. But also, it's just, you know, yeah. You guys might have heard of a person called Angry Aussie. So, get angry is his thing, right? Now, this is the video I'm talking about, right? So we'll go through and we'll watch this.
Okay. According to the big light, we are live. It's not really a light, but...
He rattles on a little bit.
Hey, David. When Hawkey copped a cricket ball... Oh, does that mean sacking Joe Hockey? That's funny. David, do you think if we made Abbott ambassador to Venus, he might finally understand what a runaway greenhouse effect is? Yes, I think it's... yes. Abbott's so strongly in the willfully obtuse camp that...
He told me to die in a fire ages ago? Holy shit.
I don't know that there's any...
Isn't that violence against women? Antrak, you're a girl, aren't you? Isn't that violence against women?
Point in saying anything to him. I mean...
Like, just take a look at him. Is there any more excuse for a beta cuck? Like, some overweight guy who... Like... I have a cat, fine, but I don't go putting my cat in my frigging shot, right? And he's literally got, and not unless it comes in here and starts meow bombing me, but like he literally's had videos where he has his cat in the background. And I do wonder, with all the alcohol in the background, does he have a bit of a problem? But anyway.
fuck me, you see results like
Yes, I've been female all my life. Really? You haven't identified as female, Amtrak?
this that is just, it just means a bad result for anyone who isn't a rich straight white guy.
Okay, so I'm straight and I'm white, but I'm not rich. I love the result. Okay, let me rephrase. I think the result could have been better, but it sure as shit wasn't the worst result we've ever had. But anyway.
As like, the more you deviate from that, the worse the next couple of years are going to be for you. And really, the next couple of years, for the foreseeable future, really, you don't want to be poor, sick, old, or young, or not white.
My dad was sick and old, and he is perfectly fine. But anyway.
Not straight.
He's fine now, don't worry. It was, yeah. He's fine now. But, yeah. But then, yeah, anyway.
Because all those people are fucked. And
there's nothing like an identity politics, is there? There's nothing like sitting there running on identity politics and then being such a cuck that you actually have to sit there and, like, yeah. Like, you know, it rules their real life. It really, really does, doesn't it? It rules their life. Everything is down to race. They are such a bunch of racists because of the fact that, you know, they're like, oh my God, you're not white, you're oppressed. Like, just even doing the mental gymnastics on that, you have to sit there and realize how much of a racist you are to think just because you're not white, you're oppressed. Because you're not white, you are an oppressed person. It's like, holy shit, dude. You're literally saying that because of your skin color, you're a second-class citizen. Really? But, you know, if I was to say something like that, holy shit, I would be a racist, right?
We're going to friggin' see, on top of just the policy fuck-ups this government's going to do, this result is going to full-on embolden pieces of shit. We're going to see a really sharp spike in hate crimes, attacks.
Really? Because all the hate crimes I'm seeing at the moment are actually coming from the left. Yeah, you're right. We will see a spike in hate crimes from the left. We've literally talked about One Nation having their truck torched since the election. Abbott volunteer was stabbed by a corkscrew. Also, One Nation volunteer was bashed by 5 people and called a racist white dog. And now we got people turning around claiming to get white people fired or get people fired from their job if they're liberals. Yeah, you're right. We are seeing a spike in hate crimes from the left. Do you not get that?
On women, gays, anyone non-white and Christian, because they think their views are endorsed now. Oh, quick set. That's the idea of Queensland shit. We should get rid of it. I mean, look, yes, the Queensland vote went overwhelmingly Conservative, but as I said many times in the lead up to the election, for the government,
he's just jealous he can't get fucked.
A whole bunch of things had to go their way. They had to do better than expected in Queensland. They had to do better.
Send them to China so they tell they need more diversity.
Victoria, better than expected in Western Australia. And what the fuck? That is exactly what happened. Like, their vote went over the top in Queensland, but they did do better than expected in New South Wales, better than expected in Victoria.
So it wasn't just Queensland then, was it? So the whole expel Queensland from the Commonwealth. Like, holy shit. The actually going through and saying that you want to expel a state from Australia because they didn't vote your way. Holy fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Victoria, better than expected Western Australia. I basically said half a dozen unlikely things all have to happen for them to win the election, and fuck me if that didn't happen. So
why would you tune into this guy's political podcasts or videos in that situation? Besides for the salt mine. If he managed to go through and list a bunch of half a dozen things and he got every one of them wrong, why would people listen to him? Just saying. But we're probably going to leave it there anyway. We've had a bit of fun with that, but is that it? Yeah. But I don't know, guys. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Aussies rushing to New Zealand? We sort of kind of got a little bit sidetracked on that one, didn't we? Do you think at the end of the day that you know, it's good riddance, get rid of the left? Would you like to see angry Aussie get thrown into a plane and leave as well? What do you think we should let the left leave and then we can take some of the right from New Zealand? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below.